I am without limit, wild, untamable, and surrounded by love. Here still, the integrity of my being is intact. But now, something in my foundation is beginning to crack. Apparently, it's very important to learn to sit still in a chair. I got with the program. Learned to manage that little voice inside of my head whispering that all is not well in the world. I'm well into my 40s when this book comes my way, the way books sometimes do. It's called The Ascent of Humanity by Charles Eisenstein. The words dig deep, reconnecting forgotten places within, questioning the status quo. Maybe, on a fundamental level, all isn't well in the world. And maybe, I don't want to get with the program anymore. Oddly enough, the author of this book, Charles Eisenstein, has been invited to give a presentation right here in the small town in Sweden where I live, 5 minutes from my house. He's here to partake in the 10-year anniversary of something called YIP, or the Youth Initiative Program. YIP is an educational program for young people providing tools for creating positive change in the world. That sign over there actually summarizes it pretty well. As the YIP choir is warming up, I go find a seat and get ready to listen to this author, who has pretty much turned my world upside down.
Thank you, Charles, for coming all the way. Welcome back. And I'll hand this mic to you.
Thank you for so many people welcoming me back to YIP. It's really good to be back. It's been, I think, 4 years since I've been a contributor to YIP. And walking around, I'm just getting all kinds of memories. And also getting embarrassed a lot when people are like, Charles, hi. And I'm like, oh, what was your name again?
I wonder how he saw the world when he was growing up. Me, I rejected any thoughts of something being off, when nobody else seemed to think so. I wonder what made him hold on to that feeling, that things were not the way they were supposed to in the world.
So I thought that I think part of it was my growing understanding of the deep wrongness in the way that the world is right now. Just understanding the way that the world system functions. And part of it was direct experience that showed me that the reality and that the explanation of the world that I'd been given was wrong, was way, way too narrow and limited through kind of spiritual experiences, psychedelic experiences, things like that. These shook me loose from the reality story that I had been indoctrinated with. And also maybe encountering people who lived in a different way. People who I deeply admired who didn't buy in to that system of rewards, who didn't care about success in that way. And also seeing that the people who did achieve that success weren't really happy. Didn't do them any good in the end. As a failure of the program, a failure of the instruction set that told us how to be human, how to be a man, how to be a woman, how to do life, how to
how to grow up, how to get a job, how to do school. Like there was a program that when I was in my teens, 17, 18 years old, it was very clear how to do this thing called human. It's become obvious that the way that we've been doing things as a society is no longer working, if it ever was working. We were supposed to have used social science and political science and economics to exert the same mastery over the social world as material technology exerted over the physical world. We were supposed to have solved these problems by now. We were supposed to have engineered poverty out of existence. We were supposed to have abolished racism. We were supposed to have solved the problem of crime and unhappiness and depression and disease. All of these things were supposed to have been solved long ago in a beautiful future that is now long overdue. And we're starting to think that this destiny, that our story said, we're moving towards this. We're starting to think that maybe we're not moving towards that. Maybe we're on the wrong path.
Would you support yourself like this?
If I fall, I put my legs to Järna. Where I work now is highly efficient. It's efficiency oriented. So it's about doing things as effectively as possible, and everything is measured like in the productivity of like every employee over the whole the place is making. And then quality comes second. It's this thing that I cannot put it together.
Yay!
Yes!
Let's
Nice!
do that again, that's nice. But you can first sit. Like first you sit like on a chair, no? Not lie down.
Can you come here? Yeah.
So one way I look at human civilization is through the basic stories and myths that operate the civilization, that tell us who we are and why we're here and what's real. We are today at the end of a certain story that has carried us for a long time. I call it the story of separation, that holds us, says who we are as separate individuals in an objective world that is outside of ourselves, that does not have the qualities of a self. That's just a bunch of stuff out there that we are forever struggling against the forces of nature, which are random, and the other beings of nature, which are fundamentally our competitors. The bacteria, for example, the weeds, that human betterment comes through exercising greater and greater control over this purposeless, random, or hostile world outside of ourselves. So that in that story, the conquest of nature is perfectly rational. The development of all things, the bringing of order onto the wild, all of that is perfectly rational. It's also rational to seek to dominate each other, because if you're a separate individual, what happens to you doesn't necessarily need to affect me. I can exploit you and I'll be better off and you'll be worse off. That is no longer rational in the story that I think that we are transitioning into, which you might call the story of interbeing.
This is an initiation. An initiation creates this moment of, wow, I don't know who I am. I don't know how to do this. I don't know what's real. That's the dilemma. And that's the dilemma that our civilization is just beginning to wake up to. Part of that awakening is that young people are no longer enthusiastic about the program. 50 years ago, probably every single one of you in this room would have been quite excited to join the program. Which part am I going to play? Am I going to be an atomic scientist? Am I going to invent rockets? Am I going to teach the youth to educate them into this program? What role am I going to play in the grand program of civilization? Better and better, more and more, faster and faster, conquering nature. That was not a problem in people's conception 50 years ago. The conquest of nature was good. What's the next frontier we're going to break through? And that whole way of thinking no longer appeals to us. or to many of us.
Du har det Järnas klassiker. Du smakar ändå bara på
Nej, jag menar 9, just det.
Hon är typ 10.
So you have a new book coming out soon, and from my understanding, it's a little bit different. The message, it's on climate and the environment, but from my understanding, it's a bit different from, let's say, An Inconvenient Truth or the mainstream reporting on those topics. Can you just describe what your book is about?
Yeah, the book is called Climate, A New Story. And I almost didn't want to call it climate anything, because a lot of people, when they see climate, they're like, I'm not going to read that. Not because they don't care, but because they think that they know what it's going to say. And more importantly, they think they know how they're going to feel when they read it, which is helpless and depressed. So I decided in the end, like, it is about climate. So I decided I would have to say climate, but I put a new story because it is offering a way of seeing the crisis that's very different from the mainstream view. I think that save the planet is actually not the right motivation. The right motivation is find something you love and take care of it. Expand the scope of your love to include not just human beings, but to include places, to include species, to include even individual trees or a little forest that you love. And now they want to build a road there. Protect that. Protect that river, protect that stream, protect that even small place. So it's the embrace of love and the expansion of love that motivates the actions that then, yeah, in the end they add up to global impact. But you don't have to have a global causal framework to motivate it. All you have to do is love something. You don't have to believe in climate change. All you have to do is believe that, yeah, I want to take care of this woods where I grew up. I want to take care of this bay where I used to go fishing as a kid, and now the fish are gone. Where I used to collect seashells, and now I don't see any seashells anymore.
Starting to cool down, so I was going to grab a sweatshirt. So we're going to be inside anyway. Okay, never mind. I just got one. That was easy. Yeah, thank you. Figured it out.
One of the main points of the book is that it's a mistake to put all of the emphasis on greenhouse gases, and that we need to
put more emphasis on the role of ecosystems, really the role of life in maintaining a healthy biosphere. The idea is that life itself creates the conditions for life, that the forests and the wetlands and the fish and the insects and the soil, these are all organs of a living being. That if we continue to degrade these organs, even if we cut emissions to zero, the climate is still going to get more and more deranged. And the result may not be human extinction. It may not be anything measurable for human beings. We might continue to have economic growth and plenty of square feet per capita and higher and higher bandwidth and 5G and 6G. Like we might have all of that in a concrete dying world. And we need, so part of the book also is saying we need to orient toward love and not self-interest. We need to become participants in a larger being, the larger being of the earth, and understand our role as being one of contribution to the dream of this planet. Like, what is our role to play? These amazing gifts we have, the human species, we have incredible gifts. What are they for? Are they for just us? Or are they to contribute to something that includes the totality of life?
This is my super inspirational section, and you'll recognize a couple of those titles, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. And I'm making room in there for your upcoming book.
Oh, you have Stephen Jenkins in there, I see.
Yeah.
He's quite a writer.
Yeah. There's not a lot of titles in there, and I'm looking for the next one to put in there. So if you have a recommendation.
There's a book I'm looking forward to reading. It's about Mr. Rogers. I think it's called The Good Neighbor. He was just giving like a message of self-acceptance to children and dignity, you know. And he was extraordinary. He would like one of the songs he would sing, and the show was very slow paced. Like sometimes he'd have these puppets, you know, nothing flashy. One time he said, let's see how long a minute is. And he had a watch that just went around for a minute. Like you never see that in television, you know? Like it's just very calm, and he would sing a song, it's you I like, every part of you. And he would just sing that completely sincerely, you know? Like he actually did like you and see the beautiful thing in you, and see the possibility in you. Everybody, even adults too.
It's you I like. It's not the things you wear. It's not the way you do your hair. But it's you I like. The way you are right now. The way down deep inside you. Not the things that hide you. Not your toys. They're just beside you. But it's you I like. Every part of you. Your skin, your eyes, your feelings, whether old or new. I hope that you'll remember, even when you're feeling blue, that it's you I like. It's you yourself, it's you. It's you I like.
Thanks for watching. My name is Mattias, and I'm the director of the film you just saw. Don't forget to subscribe by clicking the thing right here. When you subscribe, you help the channel reach a little bit further, and you help yourself because you get a little notification when new stuff comes out.